Tonight, North Korea's dictator seems open to something he'd previously brushed off. Working-level meetings between officials lower ranking than he and President Trump. Meetings that could jumpstart nuclear talks. Kim Jong-un's foreign ministry saying it hopes working-level talks will improve relations, but also warns, on the contrary, they may add to the hostility towards each other.
The message they want to get across is that they are not overeager for these talks, and that it is the Americans who should bring some concessions with respect to sanctions relief and some softening of the demands on the North in terms of the extent of the denuclearization steps.
The North Koreans' latest overture comes just after the parents of American college student Otto Warmbier went to the White House.
Please.
Warmbier was a prisoner for 17 months in North Korea after being tried for stealing a propaganda poster. He went into a coma in North Korean custody and died just a few days after being returned home in 2017. Despite President Trump's embrace of Warmbier's parents, there's been tension between them since Trump said he doesn't hold Kim Jong-un responsible for Otto Warmbier's death.
He felt badly about it. He tells me that he didn't know about it, and I will take him at his word.
The Warmbiers were furious, issuing a statement criticizing the president for making excuses for the dictator. Warmbier's mother later calling Trump's diplomacy with Kim a charade.
How can you have diplomacy with someone that never tells the truth? He lies, he lies, he lies, all for himself.
CNN has asked the White House, the State Department, and the Warmbiers for information on their weekend dinner at the White House. None of them would comment, but the dinner could have served to remind the president of the Kim regime's brutality.
Human rights issues have fallen completely off the table. The president has praised Kim Jong-un's leadership, he's praised his integrity as a leader, and he's made no mention of either Otto or the broader human rights concerns that the U.S. has. So this dinner was an opportunity for the parents of Warmbier to remind the president that these issues matter.
Meanwhile, veteran diplomats tonight are concerned that President Trump has allowed Kim Jong-un to get the upper hand in other ways, especially by not holding the dictator accountable for conducting at least 9 short-range missile tests since May.
This is letting them get away with too much. One of the first objectives of any negotiation should be to have them freeze these missile tests. The fact that they're conducting them is really, I think, defiance of the United States.
A friend of mine named Lena, she was 70 years old. I tried to house her right there. And then one day I came back and someone found her dead in a pile of garbage. Like a human being found in garbage.
People are now seeing tents all over Los Angeles. It's not just in Skid Row.
Yes.
But what is different now?
Well, what's different now is we're seeing people coming from other parts of the state and other parts of the country. Until society looks at this from a realistic standpoint instead of an idealistic or political one, Skid Row won't change. It won't change. It's going to continue to look like this, and these people who I love are going to suffer.
The story of Los Angeles has always been one of wealth and Hollywood glamour, but a walk down 6th Street shows scenes from a different script. Local officials are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to try to address the problem. But new figures show that homelessness in LA is up a stunning 16% over last year. It is a crisis driven by rising rents, a massive affordable housing shortage, and the lack of a cohesive safety net for people struggling with mental health and substance abuse issues. For nearly 2 decades, Officer Dion Joseph has watched the crisis build to this breaking point.
And look at this. These are your good intentions. This is food and clothes that's wasted. The food, that's where the rats and roaches come from, and the rats, and we've seen a couple tonight, they're almost as big as cats. And if you really take a close look, the needles, the hypodermic needles are back. Can I help you up? Okay, Free. Be careful out here.
Women are among the most vulnerable out here, at risk of sexual assault, domestic violence, and continually facing threats from gang members who try to control different blocks. Mercedes is among the many who have resisted permanent housing.
Why are you sweeping?
I don't like those rats. I try to sweep to keep the rats from coming to, they'll come looking for food, but if they don't find it, they just keep on going.
Yeah.
And they always running through the wall in my tent.
I've known Mercedes, my God, for about 15 years.
We were just simply not paying the appropriate level of attention, not making the investments in the social services and affordable housing. We needed to do a better job.
LA County has opened 8 new mental health urgent care centers and a sobering center. The Department of Mental Health has also expanded its outreach. Some of the formerly homeless now have apartments at Mosaic Gardens at Willowbrook. The children who could have ended up on the streets have a playground, after-school programs, and a computer lab. One of the reasons that Mosaic Gardens got off the ground is because the community got behind the project.
You know, we're very proud of this. Not in my backyard is only because you have a backyard right now. But if you give them support, if you treat them as human beings, if you recognize their humanity and their right to have a roof over their head, and their right to have security, and their right for their children to be able to sleep in a bed that they can call their own, then they too can begin to take ownership.
We have some very sad news to share. ABC News is now reporting that legendary journalist Cokie Roberts has died. She was a longtime Washington reporter. She was co-host of ABC This Week for years. She was inducted into the Broadcasting and Cable Hall of Fame. I'm going to read briefly from a statement from James Goldston. He's president of ABC News. Cokie Roberts will be dearly missed. Cokie's kindness, generosity, sharp intellect, and thoughtful take on the big issues of the day made ABC a better place and all of us better journalists. ABC says that her death was due to complications from breast cancer. She was a groundbreaking female journalist. She was a legend in the business. She was also an author. She wrote books about the Civil War. She wrote books about the women who took part in the founding of this nation. She was also a friend and mentor to many journalists, including myself. This is sad news to hear about Cokie, and we send our best to her family.